And welcome, everybody. It's appropriate, I think, to put this talk into some context, how it came about, why this particular topic. It actually started with the reading of an article about this gaming generation and the fact that there's 90 million gamers in the U.S. alone, a generation of gamers, if you will, that's bigger than the baby boomer generation. And so I read this article, and it caused me to go on and read a couple of books about gaming and the gaming industry and the various dynamics, and also to do a fair amount of research, which is really what's gone into this presentation. The gamer generation is huge, and it's going to become increasingly important to understand them. Understand the gamers and the fact that they have a great deal of potential that can make our company and yours a better place. And surprisingly enough, it even has relevance to what we do at DCG, in so much as that we are constantly looking at and dealing with issues with our clients that can be considered impactful of their culture and their changing environments. So I'm hoping that you'll enjoy some of the facts and figures that you learn about today. I'm hoping that this is presented in kind of a fun way, and certainly there's a lot of good information in here about generation, lessons that they've learned from playing games, and how it can apply to the business world, and in fact how you can even better manage gamers in your work environment. So let's begin. Quickly, I'm actually going to start with a little personal account. What I'm saying here is my worst fear, if you will. Give you a candid view of how I viewed gamers, in particular my own children, as they were growing up. And as I mentioned, just hit you with some kind of amazing facts and figures, and then get into some of the basics of what are the basic elements of a game, of a video game, or the games we play, and what are some of the lessons that those games teach. Let's take a look at how does that apply, these lessons that one learns from playing these games. How does it apply in a professional setting? And then, as I mentioned, how do we manage this generation of gamers in the workplace? And really, all the way up to, would gamers make good CEOs in an organization? Might surprise you that I'm going to talk about that in a very positive way, so I think that's something that is worth staying on for and hearing about how gamers might make good CEOs. What are the characteristics of gamers that would position them to take a leadership position in an organization? And then, if time permits, games and play is really talking about games in the real world, how games are being applied to improve health, education, and even games in the workforce. I'll share stories of how Marriott and how Ford are using games to help hire employees, help to improve employee performance. So again, I hope this is factual, fun, and informative. So, little insight into myself, how I initially felt about video games. Basically, my concern was that my kids were spending countless number of hours being exposed to this gaming technology during what would be considered their formative years. And my concern was that it would have a negative effect on them later on in life. These aren't actually my children, but this is what they looked like when they were playing games and whatnot. And my concern was that as they grew older, they would morph from cute little kids with curly hair into something that looked more like this. However, through all of this research and whatnot, it really shows that, perhaps surprisingly, there is a positive effect of people playing games and all the hours that they spend playing games. Some facts and figures. In my research, they talk a lot about that this new generation. They talk about Americans spending more money on video games than they do on going to the movies, and they spend more time at home playing video games than watching, rented videos. In fact, 5 out of 10 Americans, about 145 million consumers and employees, play video games. So, as the research shows, and they talk about, this new generation is in town. This new generation is comprised of 90 million in the U.S. alone, more than the baby boomer generation. 6 million are old enough to be employees, and 43% of employees say their managers are noticeably younger. Worlds have never known a time without digital games. If you think about that, I think these are amazing facts and figures, and shows how prevalent games are in our society. And the average game player, research shows, is 35 years old and has been playing games for 12 years. Games are therefore essential to understanding this generation. They've dramatically, if you will, changed the way the gamer generation sees the business world, how they think about risk, how they think about success, and what they expect of themselves. But as we go through this, we're going to see that the lessons that they have learned from gaming and playing the video games can carry enormous value. And as some of us in the audience today, as being managers, I think it's important that we consider how to capture that value, how to manage and develop people who are perhaps decidedly different, often in ways that may seem negative. One of the books that I read was Jane McConnell's landmark book, Reality is Broken. And in that book, she notes that more and more people are opting out of reality, as she says it, spending more and more time in playing games in what she refers to as the gaming space. And as the title suggests, she states that reality compared to games is broken. And to quote from her, she goes on to say that reality doesn't offer us the carefully designed pleasures, the thrilling challenges, or the powerful social bonding afforded by virtual environments. Reality doesn't motivate us as effectively, isn't engineered to maximize our potential, and in fact wasn't designed to make us happy. Some really pretty powerful statements. So is reality broken? To look at what some of her observations are. Reality is depressing. We focus our energy with optimism on something we are good at and something that we enjoy. But they give us a clear mission and more satisfying hands-on work. Yet reality is hopeless, but games eliminate our fear of failure and improve our chances of success. She states that reality is disconnected, that games build stronger and social bonds and lead to more active social networks. Reality being pointless, whereas it feel more rewarding